Ooh. We are at the Suan Road Phi, or Vichala Benchatat, Suan Vichala Benchatat, which is Vichala Benchatat Park, also known as Chatuchak Railway Station, or Railway Park rather. Gotta try to get out of here. I cannot connect inside in the park. There's just too many people. Supposedly around 10,000 people, and it sure seemed that way. It was crazy, and I did shoot a lot of video, and I'll put it up tonight. But man, it was just crazy. This is in Chatuchak, man. It's in Bangkok. I don't know, northern. Let me think where it's at. Actually, I don't think it's northern. I think it's eastern, a little bit. I don't know if it's north or south, to be honest. I think it's a little southern, but I could be wrong. I forgot to look. I never think about it. I just know where to go. And I got here at about 5:30. Started shooting. Just loads of people at 5:30 in the morning. Loads and loads of people. Hard to walk around that many people. And then I stumbled upon what's his name? Tanaton. I can't say his last name. I haven't memorized it yet, but he's the guy who is the leader of the Future Forward Party. And I did shoot a lot of footage of him. Got photos, took my share of photos. Got some video of him and his people. And it just got crazy. There was hundreds of press surrounding him. And I only saw maybe 3 foreign press that were where I was. 2, 3, that was it. And then later, as the morning progressed, there was more. Basically covering the running event, which was only a 30-minute thing. I was thinking to myself, are they even going to run? Really, I thought that. But I guess they had to. So they kind of skirted the law. And I have all kinds of paperwork that I downloaded and stuff that I got to get around these dogs here and the car behind me. If I can figure out how to get out of here. I think I gotta walk this way, over here. I'm gonna walk somewhere and just sit down. I'm walking for hours. And as you can see, I've broke a little bit of a sweat. I'm a little hot and sweaty. Yeah, this is the way out. It says right here, Tang Ok. This is Tang Ok. Okay. Tang Ok. So, I'm sorry I couldn't bring I should have started it even earlier. I should have started it at like 6 o'clock, but it was still dark. And then there would have been too many people. I wouldn't have been able to have any internet connection, which I feel kind of fortunate to have it right now. But when I was inside, I was trying to connect at like 10 to 8. and nothing, just nothing at all. There's just too many people all using the internet. I managed in the beginning to upload something to Instagram and also to Facebook, but that was about it. So anyway, who's out there? Say hello if you're out there. 13 people. I got one person commenting. MedTech, good morning. Good morning to everybody, lurking or not. The wife said she wanted to come with me. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. She's like, we're gonna have to wake up at 3 o'clock. And I said, well, you might as well rule yourself out on that right away, because I know her. She will not wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Not unless she has a very, very good reason. Like she's gonna miss a flight, like she has to check in somewhere at a certain time. Okay, that's different if it was for work. But just to come and go for a run, walk, she wasn't gonna do it. I knew that right away. All right, so there's a field here. I guess this is, I don't know, it's either a football field or golf course. Whew. It's, if I remember correctly, at like, hey, good morning, Mr. Mitch. If I remember correctly, it was at like 5:15 in the morning. Jesus, Tom, if you're watching the stream, stop sending me messages. Jesus Christ, I get messages from people right during the stream. It's like I'm streaming. I don't need to get all these messages. Tom, I'll talk to you later, okay? No worries. I don't like being around 10,000 people. It was, man, I mean, people were shoving and pushing. And there were times I was in a good position. I had a good place. I had a good place to take my photos. I was right there, right in the front. You know, he even said, oh, we have people from all over the world here. We have Thais from all over the world. We have journalists. He said, where are you from? Some guy goes, Germany. Where are you from? America. Oh, wow, America. Oh, you know, that kind of thing. And then you got literally a couple of hundred people circling the poor guy. I don't know how he does it. He kept his calm. Guy was cool as a cucumber. He must be used to it, because he had little old ladies, young women, men, everybody and their mother asking for a selfie with him. You know, it was like kind of like me being in Bangladesh, where everybody wants your a selfie with you. I've got to walk out here, but let's go take it. This is I guess it's a driving range. That's what it is. I'm gonna have to walk out here. So, and I have to go to the ATM. I took a Grab because, not because I wanted to, but because there are no Songtals running at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. You're not really ever sure when they're gonna start exactly. And then I was like, all right, well, then what? Take the boat? No, can't take the boat to this place. Yeah, this is the driving range. Wow. Forgot all about this place. My wife and I have been here several times with the kids, but it's been a while. The last time was when I streamed here. So that's had to have been a good 4 or 5 months. Something like that. I don't even know. Anyway, let's get out of this joint. Find a place to sit down. Pants are falling off. Mr. Mitch and MedTech, 2 people out of 18 who are making any comments at all. I love it. If I sound irritated, it's because I am. I don't particularly like waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, if I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, that's fine. But I have my own set routine where I get up, I go do things in the house. I have my coffee, you know, I have my set routine. However, today I woke up and I was like, do I have everything charged? Do I have everything I need? Am I ready to go? No. Well, I need to pack some stuff up. Boom. Finally make it out the door. I gotta wait for the grab guy. By the time he comes picks me up, it's 5:30. You know, I don't particularly like having to leave the house at 5 o'clock, 5:30. I like taking my time. But I'd say it was worth it, you know. I mean, I'm sorry I didn't get the stream from inside there, but you know, when you have that many people, I forget sometimes, when you have that many people, it's very difficult to get internet connection because so many people are online. At first I thought, what's the deal? Do I not have any internet time? Did I pay the bill? What's going on? Yeah, everything's cool. Then I realized, oh, too many people. Look at this. I'd never get a taxi from out of there. And if I did, it'd probably cost me $100 just to get out to the main street. All right. So let me sit down and I'll go over some of the things that this run against dictatorship was about, which is what it was. It was basically a reason to gather people that would have been that they knew would be approved by the government, because they would not approve a future forward party protest / rally. They just wouldn't do it. Not under the current circumstances, which is they're thinking about legally dissolving the Future Forward Party for a number of reasons. But the guy who leads the party is a billionaire, and one of the things that he said this morning was he wants Prayut to step down, and he wants there to be true democracy in Thailand, which, you know, who knows if that'll happen, but I'm not holding my breath. That was crazy. For some reason, I lost like 5 kilos, and these shorts are falling down. So I had people pushing me. I'm walking backwards. People are pushing me. I'm trying to get photos, shooting video at the same time, and my pants are sliding down. All right. Crazy drivers, crazy moto drivers. This is what I remember about this park, that it was a long walk to the main drag. So we're taking a little morning walk. Isn't this the Ministry of Energy or something? The Ministry of Energy is around here, for what that's worth. What is this? All right. So let me get over here. I got to get to that main drag here. You can see the park right here to the right, but whew. What I was thinking was it was 81 degrees Fahrenheit and the humidity was 87%. It felt like 90 degrees, and that was at like 5 o'clock or something. Crazy. So the hot season is here already. It's already getting really, really hot and humid. No somtam, no gayang for me. No thank you. Look at this. Just keep walking and walking and walking. There we go. This is the end of the street up here. Palm. Smells good, but man, had some spices in it. Whew. Something that always gets me is how many ATM gulo, man. You got any ATMs in here? No ATM. Gulo. What always gets me is they're so surprised when you speak a few words of Thai. Is it that surprising, really? I guess it is. There's got to be an ATM around here. Story of my life. Always looking for an ATM. When I don't need money, I have it. When I need money, I don't have it. Then I can't find an ATM. Fangulo, man. No ATMs around here. This sucks. Let's see if he'll stop at me or stop at this guy. MedTech, I've been here 25 years. What do you think? Oh, ไปมอบางกะปิครับ ต้องโจตี ATM นะก็ No, not you, Tom. Not you, Tom O. Not you. He's talking to the other guy, the other Tom.
ประมาณจันทร์อังคารพุธขอเฮ็ดงานขอเก็บงานขอให้มันแล้วก่อนเดี๋ยวผมประมาณประหารเดือนศุกร์นี่แหละเดี๋ยวไปโทรหาเจ้าของได้ครับได้เดี๋ยวขอเรียนไปครับ
Hang on one. Really bad internet today. There's too many people using the internet today. All right, so let me see if I can get to this here. I want to read some of this stuff. The idea was to go to the park, and while they were doing the run, I would have read some of this stuff and talked to you guys and everything. That was the idea. Here we go. Lots of notes today, and you know, look at this. Where's it at? Here we go. This run against democracy was planned all over Bangkok, all over Thailand, not just Bangkok, and they canceled it in 2 places. I don't know the other places, but maybe it has it in these articles that I'm looking at. You got it here. Tomorrow, most Thais will wait with bated breath as they spelled "bated" wrong. As possibly the largest rally since the military coup of 2014 takes place. The rally, organized by Future Forward Party, the Future Forward Party, set to take place in Bangkok, and it looks like it'll feature over 10,000 supporters and participants in a run, which is referred to as the Run Against Dictatorship, but it's also known as Wing Lai Lung. Wing Lai Lung. Lou, mai. Chava. So a taxi driver knows and he likes it. Basically, it's walk for uncle. Walk for uncle. This is the rival event is walk to cheer uncle, and so there was another event going on at the same time. The rival party, Prayut's party. Yeah, now, last month they had, let me do this here. I got my hands full again. Got my hands full here. All right. Last month there was a street protest. They're not going to allow street protests here. They're going to say no right away. The government's going to prohibit them. And so what they did was, instead of making it on the street, they made it in the park and called it a run. And then what happens is, before the run, they're all talking about the Future Forward Party. That's what they did. After the run, they're talking about it. During the run, they're talking about it. But since it's a sporting event, they're not going to ban it, and that's why they were allowed. But they were banned in a couple other places because they were deemed a hazard to the community. It was dangerous. This guy Thanatorn is a billionaire. He loaned $6.3 million to his party, and I guess it was okay, supposedly, but he was only allowed to donate 10 million baht. Instead, he donated 191 million baht. However, he said it wasn't a donation, it was a loan. And if they find him guilty, which they may, he could be banned from politics for 5 years. So this is a very important time here in Thailand, because they're starting to rise up. I'm looking at this. It says, what Thais think of political conflict. 34.06% say conflict will escalate. 52.21 say national reconciliation will never be achieved. That's kind of what I feel, just from the history. And 13.73 believe that conflict will ease. Wow. 24.45% believe that any new government will be short-lived. Yeah, it was just 5 years ago when martial law was declared. And they are watching this guy Thanatorn very, very closely. What? He also slammed the politician who met Hong Kong student activist Joshua Wong after the Chinese embassy issued a statement accusing a Thai politician of contacting a group involving the ongoing protest in Hong Kong. Everybody's involved in Hong Kong. Listen, I got news from you. Here's the thing. There are no rules in Hong Kong or anywhere else. And speaking of Hong Kong, I have opened my GoFundMe account. I really would not like to see that yet. I started it last night. I started working on it a couple days ago. I started putting the links out last night, and I really would hope that at the end of the day, I see some progress in the goal. Because, okay, this is to bring you guys content, and of course, it's also for me. It helps me do a job. It helps me do something that I think is important. But you see, it's happening here in Thailand, and it's also happening in Hong Kong. And, I got my hands full. That's the only way I know how to put it. I did not want to come to this. I really didn't want to. Not because I don't think it's important, but because I knew the mass of people that there would be. And I'm not into these masses of people. And in Hong Kong, the thing with that is that there may be 500 people scattered around an intersection. And 50 of them are throwing Molotov cocktails and putting up barriers and stuff like that. It's not all that many people most of the time. Only 3 times I think there were 500,000 to 800,000 to, I think one time there was 1 million people when I was there. I think that was National Day. I didn't really want to come here because I just thought, nothing's going to happen. But it is important for me to photograph it and to get some video of it and everything. So that's why I came. But it's work. It's not fun. It's not like I'm having a grand old time. So please, there is a link in the description down below to my GoFundMe. I opened the GoFundMe, and I'd appreciate it. 50 cents, $1, anything. And if you can't do that, that's fine. I understand. Not everybody has money. I know that because I don't have much. But at least share the GoFundMe or share, one of my videos or whatever. Do something like that, please. I would appreciate it. But anyway, everybody thinks that the Hong Kong issue is caused by outside influences. Listen, that it may be happening. Who knows? But so what? So what if it is? Oh, the Hong Kong government doesn't like it. That's too bad. I guess the people don't like what's going on in their area either. Heard anything about Hong Kong since you left? Well, there is a lot going on. The other day there was a bunch of tear gas shot. There'll probably be something going on today. I haven't looked at the schedule because I just basically have been communicating with the guys who are still on the ground there. There are still a few people there. And there's some Hong Kongers that I keep in touch with. Simon just got back yesterday. He's going to get caught up. So there's a lot going on there, and it will take a couple of weeks at least for me to be ready to go back there, just because I don't think I'll have the money. And, you know, I have to pay for quite a bit of the things myself. I don't make any money. It's not like you guys are not helping me profit. So if you believe in the cause and you believe in what I've been doing, then please, it's important, because not only will I do this, but I will do other things, whether it's in Thailand, in Myanmar. I've been saying that for a long time, and I'm getting to the point where it's like, okay, you know, I appreciate everybody who's in the core group and everything. That's great. But there are other people that contact me all the time. They want this, they want that, they want me to answer questions, and I'm not going to do it. I just don't have the time, you know? So let's go on with this article here, because I don't want to get too caught up on that, you know. Yeah. However, oh, wait a minute. Did not name Potter. Okay, so, yeah, apparently Thanatorn did meet with, I remember hearing about that, with Joshua Wong in Hong Kong. ต้องจดที่ ATM นะ อย่าลืมนะ ผมไม่มีตังค์ ต้องไป ATM. Okay, so this was... It was originally scheduled to start at Thammasat University. And then the organizer, which was the Future Forward Party, said they... He's talking about the run. People know about this. They know what's going on. Don't be mistaken. I think that there's a lot of people here who, and I think it's like always, it's the younger people, it's some of the middle-aged people, and less the older people, because the older people don't generally have the energy or the desire to get involved in these things. But there are a lot of people who are for it, from what I've seen and people I've talked to. But they are not. They did not allow this to begin at Thammasat, and they changed it to Vichara Benchatat Park. You can run against dictatorship. Basic legal recommendations before staging run against dictatorship event. So they have lawyers working on this. Thank you very much, Mitch. I appreciate that. I think you're the first person who made a contribution to it. So I appreciate that. And, you know, that tells you everything. It's a little hard for me to talk right now. Just give me a second. He's watching TV. Dude's watching TV right now. It's too funny. Some things only happen in Thailand. Only in Pratet Thai. All right, so I'm gonna go on here. Noise or not. Okay. Running against dictatorship is not a public assembly because it's considered a sporting event, and it's in a public space. It must be a gathering solicited to demand, support, oppose, or express an opinion of any matter utilizing a public display. So you can't hold it in a private place. It's a sporting event and thus does not fall under the purview of the Public Assembly Act, which stipulates that the act should not be enforced on sports gatherings, because this is a sporting event. It was, you know, I mean, some of the people were done in like 23 minutes. They ran the distance in 23 minutes. Some people took, you know, 45. The guy Tanaton, I think he finished in about 30, 33, 34 minutes. There is no law against political activities. There is currently no law prohibiting people from gathering or engaging in political activities, even if, as the authorities argue, run against dictatorship events amount to political activities. People still enjoy the right to organize such activities per the Constitution. Okay, well, these are great. The only thing I would say is that, you know, Hong Kong has laws like these also, and for whatever reason, they don't always get they don't get applied to them. The law requires the organizer to notify the assembly, not to request permission to assemble. He just has to notify. Who does he notify? The police. If there is no prior notification of an assembly parties are not guilty, but they will impose a fine of not more than 10,000 baht. No jail sentence. However, for the case in which the assisted the court. T9 got icon. Okay, go. All right, we're gonna go to the ATM real quick. Okay. Love happening, huh? Cup. Shit. Can I get through here? It's all sweaty and stinky. Whew. What? How is it over the balance? I know I got money. Well, hang on a second. Shit. Maybe, oh, it's the wrong card. Oh, That's what happens when you got too many of these things. I got too many cards. Shit. Too many cards. Son of a bitch. God damn it. What did I do? Leave it at home? Oh, here it is. Here it isn't. Son of a bitch. Damn it. Well. Wrong account. Son of a bitch. Yeah, it's a wrong fucking card. Where's my card at? Whew. Too many cards, man. They all look the same. get out of here. Whew. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, come. Carl, it's off the radar. Well, that's the thing, you know, I mean, right now, and I put this in if you go to the GoFundMe, read what I wrote. Right now, people are worried about Iran, Iraq, the impeachment, the bushfires in Australia, and of course the usual Kim Kardashian and, Britney Spears is wearing a bikini now, and, look at her, and so-and-so lost a bunch of weight, and all these trivial, listen, it's great if I lose, 3 kilos, right? Hey, I lost a little weight, my pants are falling down now because they're too big on me. Yeah, okay, great, fantastic, but in the scope of the world, it's not important at all. People do that every single day. They're losing weight, they're gaining weight, doesn't matter. To me, what matters is the future for my kids and the future for people. I mean, like, listen, I'm not one of these people. I've never been somebody like, who's going to go work for Greenpeace and, I'm going to go save a tree. I've never been one of these people. But when I see the things that I saw in Hong Kong, I feel the need to do something, and I feel like I'm doing something worthwhile. So I get to do something worthwhile, but, I'm not really in a position to do it all on my own. That's the way it goes, And, I'm sorry for the people who don't like that, but, I know everybody's in their own bubble, and I'm the same way. Most of the time I'm in my own bubble. But my bubble right now, to a much lesser extent, is what's going on in Thailand, because it is important, and I do think there's going to be some changes in the future, in the next couple of years, that people, this is what happens here. There's coups all the time, there's overthrows, there's changes made. I think something is going to happen. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I can cover it, if it's going to make a difference. I have no idea. It's too soon to say, okay? But that's why I was here today at this run against dictatorship. It's interesting that they call it that, because they didn't really have to call it that. They could call it something else. But in Hong Kong, I think Hong Kong is still very, very important, and it's really dropped down on the level of importance to many, many people. And if you look at the mainstream media, most of it is not covering it. They're not there. The mainstream media in Asia has some people there. The Chinese mainstream media, the Hong Kong mainstream media, yeah, they have it. But the bigger organizations from around the world, the international community of journalists, is not really covering it. And there are still a handful of independents there, but they also have the same problem that I do. Eventually the money runs out. They don't know, what good is it going to do. I think that after Chinese New Year, some things are going to happen. And then I think, depending on what happens in the next couple of months, I think later in the year when they have an election, there's some other things going to happen. Then also Myanmar has an election coming up. I really would like to be there for that. There are still things going on in the hills of Myanmar. That's something, I've been talking about for a long time. One of the very first things that I was going to cover, and I came about within a day of doing it, but I didn't want to, at the time, it was very difficult to cross the border. It still is, but it was much more difficult to cross the border into Myanmar and to stay. And I wanted to sneak in. I had a couple people that were going to do it. I had a place I was going to write for and shoot for and stuff, and I didn't do it. And now I'm kicking myself. I'd still like to do it. It had to do with the opium fields and what was going on there. Yeah. But, anyway, I digress. I can't even explain this stuff to my mother anymore, because she's like, what are you doing this for? Because, I don't know why. There is no prison sentence for running on a road and obstructing traffic. Should the course of the run against dictatorship be on a public road and the activities need to use such a space, the organizers must obtain permission to use the road surface from traffic officers per the Road Traffic Act 1979. Must be submitted no less than 15 days before the intended march. However, should the police traffic officers deny permission, participants in a march or protest which obstructs traffic may receive a fine not exceeding 500 baht with no imprisonment per Section 14B. There's also no imprisonment for unauthorized use of an amplifier. And then it says here, if you have any issues related to this event, please call Thai Lawyers for Human Rights. Well, this is the thing. I posted this the other day. About how America should be very careful with who they partner with and who they're friends with. And I think that at this point, Thailand has already said, hey, China can do more good for us than the U.S. Well, maybe in the short term, but maybe in the long run, it's not good for them. I don't know. I don't think it's ever a good thing to get involved with the Chinese government, if you ask me. But, I'm a little jaded as an American with my views of freedom and democracy and the government, how it should be and how it shouldn't be. But I know that they have a lot of human rights issues there, a ton of them. They don't treat people the way I think most people expect to be treated, which is halfway decent. Listen, if you think you're never going to be treated rudely in the world, that's, you're in for a surprise. But some of the places, and it doesn't, I've talked about the Uyghurs before, and I've talked about the Rohingya Muslims before. Listen, if it comes down to me, I'd rather that people just didn't have religion. That's my own opinion. I would never force people to do that. If I was in power, I would never say, oh, I don't want anybody to have religion. Wouldn't do that. But to me, it seems like it causes more problems than it helps. That's just my view. And I could be wrong. I don't think so. But it's not because, I'm not pro-Muslim or pro-Christian, or I'm not pro any religion. But then again, I'm not against a religion. And so when I see the Uyghurs, the way they're treated by the Chinese, the Rohingya, the way they're treated by Myanmar, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Thailand, look at the way that the sea gypsies are treated by the Thai government. They say that they're not part of Thailand. Well, they live in Thailand. So you got to give, they can't be stateless. You have to figure something out. You can't just let them, you can't go here and you can't go there. Just like in with the Rohingya. They're only allowed to go to a certain point, and then they have to turn back unless they have paperwork, unless they have documents saying that they can travel from one place to another. They can't. They're stuck in one. Imagine you live in a little tiny city, a little tiny town, village, whatever. 500 people in it, and you can't go anywhere. Or 5,000 people, 10,000 people. You can't go out of that city. You can't leave. You're not allowed. You will never go anywhere. So you get people with their children who have never gone farther than, a mile in diameter. They've never went anywhere else. I don't know. I think you want freedom to travel. That's one thing. But you can't, it's kind of like locking people up. It's like being in a zoo. I have to get these papers together here. We're getting close to being there. It's like being confined to a zoo that, like Lion Country Safari. You're only fenced in certain areas, but for the most part, you can run free. Well, that's the same thing. I wanted to go to Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh, but we weren't there long enough, and it's quite a distance to get there. so I didn't get to go. But I mean, that place is the biggest refugee camp, I think, in the world. You know, crazy place, and these people are living in. And you know, listen. Like I said, it's not like I'm Mr. I want to save the world. That's not what it's about. But hey, man, if some guy goes in and takes some photos, shoots some video, presents it to people, and look at with Bang. You know, some of the people who are watching now remember Bang and actually help Bang, and you know, you made his life a little bit better for at least a short period of time. Wow, look at this. They've changed it completely. I don't know if you guys remember, but there used to be some buildings there. Now they've completely fenced it all in. There used to be some buildings with all this graffiti on it and everything. U-turn ข้างหน้าครับขอโทษนะไม่ใช่ที่นี่นะข้างหน้า I don't want to have to freaking go through another building and then go upstairs and go across. So, you know, I mean, look at this graffiti over here. People, I don't understand people. I don't understand human beings now. Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, we all contributed in many ways to helping Bang have a little bit of a better life, and to helping Oi, who, you know, she was taking care of him. I mean, and basically, you know, the guy, he was living, he couldn't move, he couldn't go get his own food, he couldn't do anything for himself. He had Pampers on, he had diapers on, you know, and she had to change him every day. So, like, for the lady to have, you know, she's got a little cell phone. I don't think she still has it, but she got a little cell phone. She got this, she got that, you know, she had a little thing. She didn't have to worry about him eating or her eating for, you know, at least a good year or so. I think that's a nice thing to do, you know. Contrary to what people may believe, is, you know, I do like being nice to people. Go, Joe, take me cup. Okay. I'm still drenched in sweat. Okay, cup in my cup. Choke Dina. Wing Lai Lung.
Vinh Lai luôn.
Wing Lai Lung.
Ai mình chỉ là lời.
Rồi. เอกสารเยอะๆ Shit. See if I can do this. God, man. I got my hands full. Really full. Let's raise this up. There you go, Gennaro. That one's for you. Gennaro's not here. Wow, look at this. They got the blue, I guess they're preparing for, they're preparing for Chinese New Year. But I got to put this down real quick. All right. You know, I did not want to come here, to be honest. I wanted to shoot inside of the park today, but that's the way it goes. Unfortunately, I didn't have that chance. I gotta hold my pants up so they don't fall down. Freaking pants falling down. Ooh. I guess I should be happy that they're falling down, but now Tom said he would be here. I don't know if he is or not. I don't see him. I don't see him here. I don't see him. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Well, let's go walk down here real quick. Just take a look, because I don't see him. I don't know where he was. Yeah, I don't know what's the deal with the blue. I'm not up on all the colors and everything, but yeah, maybe it has to do with the lunar. Yeah, you're in an anti-Chinese mood. Well, go to Hong Kong and see what kind of mood you're in after that. I guarantee you, you're gonna be like, what the all it takes is one old lady. You hear one old lady crying after she got pepper sprayed. All right, hang on a second. I gotta go in here. What do you got? That's it. You know, they stopped selling they stopped selling the espresso beans covered in chocolate. What a mess that was, man. Seriously. Shit. I feel like I've been in a Hong Kong protest with like 500,000 people. That's about how it felt in there. All right, so we'll see if he shows up. He said he'd be here in about 15 minutes. He's pretty, I'll tell you one thing about Tom. Say what you will about the guy. He's pretty astute when it comes to his knowledge of Thai politics, his knowledge of politics in general, and why things are done. You know, he's pretty sharp when it comes to that stuff. Unlike me. Got 2 waters. Anyway. So, Gennaro, Beyond Trinity, what's happening? When was the last time we talked to Beyond Trinity? A couple days ago? Gennaro has only been in here briefly lately. Longhorns is probably lurking or not available. He's probably getting ready to come over here. Soy Dog Cowboy, my guess is he's still asleep or laying in bed. "37 people watching. And let's see here. 1, 2, 3. And this whole chat, there's been 4 people that have commented. I don't know, Jared, what's cracking, man? You tell me. Hello from Sweden. Hello from Thailand. You know, what was the guy He's a guy, he just signed up or joined on my Instagram or something. He was from Sweden. He's a journalist, a photographer, something that's covering or going to, I think he's covering Hong Kong right now, and he wanted to meet up, but I said, well, I probably won't be there until at least the end of the month. So, man, it is humid today. I mean, I can feel the water in the air. So let's see here. I'm gonna go back to these papers. Show me the papers. Carlos hasn't been around. I need to email him, see if he's okay. You know, Carlos was injured. He was in a bad way. Mr. Mitch is injured. Slowly recuperating. All right, so let's see here. This is my papers now. Wait a minute here. I already did this one. Titans and Ravens. I'm supposed to go to a football, to Margarita Storm tomorrow to watch a football game. I don't know if I'm going to or not. Okay, this one I didn't read, this one I didn't read, this one I did read, and this one I did read. So I read 3 out of the 5. Yeah, 2, Ubon Ratchathani and Payao were denied permission to organize despite confirmation by Interior Affairs Minister General Anupong Pauchinda, who said yesterday, exerting pressure against. We denied their permission because we're concerned that the event would infringe on citizens' freedom of movement. That's what it was. The event would also disrupt Buddhists who would, I can't see that here, something every Sunday morning. But local Run Against Dictatorship Ubon Ratchathani organizer Chet Chai Keo Kumpot told reporter that they had originally scheduled for Sunday morning. Run Against Dictatorship was originally planned only for Bangkok, but it spawned similar events in London, Berlin, and Auckland, New Zealand. Tom just sent me a message, said he'll be here directly. He's on his way, but he's running behind. I can't cancel the event because I considered it to be already approved. I didn't see refusal by the police. No, it's not. I'm nowhere near that area. Let me take a look at something here. Nowhere near. I'm an hour and a half away. Should it be run in favor of democracy? Well, it's Run Against Dictatorship, and the party who is organizing the event, or who organized the event, is for democracy. And the guy, I have him on tape. I have him on tape saying, we want Prayut to step down, and we want to have true democratic reforms. So, I think that pretty much. What the fungulo, man? This is that one battery. The one battery that sticks. There we go. I want to look at something here. Now, there he is. Oh, that's a good shot. Yeah, baby. That's a good shot, too. All right, I got some good shots of him. Now, you know, in Hong Kong, the five fingers is the, hey Larry, the five fingers is for five demands. One of the demands has already been met. That's the extradition bill. I don't know why they can't do an investigation into the police brutality. You would think that in order to like alleviate some of the problems and the pressure in Hong Kong, you would think that the government would say, okay, you know what, you're right. We'll do the right thing. We'll do an investigation. No, what they said was, we will do a review that states why we think our government, what caused these protests, and what can our government do in the future to prevent this from happening again. Had nothing to do with the police and their actions and their brutality and all these other things. So the people are pissed and they're like, hey, you know, and so if there's any, though, that's one of the things I think they could give them. The other thing is that they need to let them have a truly a democratic vote. And that's universal suffrage. That means allowing the people to vote without these stipulations of, you know, you can only have 50% of this and 50% from here, and they've got to be pro-Beijing and blah, blah, blah. Listen, people don't want Beijing breathing down their backs. I mean, who wants to live that way? Truly. I mean, I don't know that I would want to live in Hong Kong unless I was making quite a bit of money, because I wouldn't want to live there poor. Living in Thailand, you can get away with being a little bit low on cash, but Hong Kong is a different story, you know. And a lot more people than people know live in poverty there. But I definitely wouldn't want to live in China. And look at all the guys who lived in China who are YouTubers. First of all, that social ranking shit, you know, sorry, I can't get by with that. If you wanted to do my social, I'm probably at the bottom. I mean, you know, although I don't know. I mean, I've been pretty good to people on the whole, but you know, every once in a while I've done a few things that might not coincide with the Communist Party's line of thinking. Who wants that? Who wants? It's bad enough they have all the cameras everywhere. You know, it's just. And then you got, you know, the whole cyber, what are they calling it? Not cyber stalking, but cyber intrusion. You know. Well, I'm very good about calling my parents at least once a week. I feel that I should. It's the right thing to do. You know. I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about your government. Your government is elected to serve you, to serve the people. And this is what the Chinese government forgets, and many other governments. I mean, who wants to live under the way that Iran runs things, or North Korea, or even Russia? Now, you may get away with a little more in Russia, but who wants to live under the, you know, listen, you live in China, you say the wrong thing, you do the wrong thing, you know, you do one thing wrong, boom. Then what? I don't know, you know. I know I'm oversimplifying it, but it's too much. And I think that here in Thailand, the people are intelligent enough to understand that there are problems with their country. They know this. They're not oblivious. It's not like they just have leaders and they're completely oblivious to what's going on. It's a matter of what can you do about it? Can you do anything? Sometimes you can't. And you know, that's the thing with, like, in Hong Kong, I think the thing with Hong Kong is that the people are like, we're out of options. They don't listen to us. We can't vote our way in. We can't change things. We don't like what's going on. And the Chinese government is intruding in our affairs, which they weren't supposed to do until at least 2047. So what are our options? And while I don't agree with getting violent for no reason, I think it's gonna happen. They are gonna get more and more violent in Hong Kong. Either that or they're gonna lay down. And I don't really know if they'll do that. You know, I guess anything's possible. possible. Now look at Tom. He's in his shorts. Every time I see an old guy like him in shorts, I have to go, why do I wear shorts? Because I look good in my shorts. Because I got great legs. Well, I mean, you know, if it came down to it, I don't know. I guess it depends on how they were going to kill you. Most people couldn't handle torture. What's he doing? He's probably pulling his pants up. You see, they had all kinds of start times. Well, I mean, I saw that statement in Hong Kong. And yeah, you're right. Why would we be scared of the government? They need to be scared of us because we control what we should control. There you are. Wow. He's wearing shorts.
Oh, wearing shorts.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it only hurts until you die. The only thing is that, you know, if they're going to torture you, you know, they're going to twist your nutsack and electrocute you and do things like that. You know, it's easier just to go, hey, okay, whatever you say, buddy. You know, and then you can live to fight another day. I don't know, you know. I mean, there are people far badder than me that are trying to do things, and they have relatively no chance, and yet they continue because they got balls, they got guts, they got courage, and they don't want to live a certain way. Or maybe they're thinking, okay, if I die, somebody else will take over and we'll continue. Go watch Spartacus. You know, he never gave up. Yeah, that's the thing. And so, you know, I know people might think that maybe I want to go over to Hong Kong and woo, I'm going to have a great time, and I'm busting my ass over there. So when the little link comes up again, please take a look at that GoFundMe that I started up and consider contributing towards it. And you know, all you guys who are in the core group, and I'm not even going to name names, but you guys know who you are. I'm more than grateful for everything that you've given. You don't have to give a penny. You've done more than enough. You know, there are people that they give anyway, and they're Patreon patrons, and they still give. You know, I'm not saying that those people, oh, please, you know, help me out. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying spread the word and help out, because if I can go over, maybe one other guy can go over, and then another guy can go over, and then the next thing you know, they're getting decent coverage. Right now, Hong Kong is not getting great coverage. There's only a handful of places that let out what's going on, and there is a schedule for this month. I have the schedule. I haven't really taken a good close look at it. Need a tank man to make the news here. Tank man. You know, well, we'll let Tom talk a little bit. I'm talked out. You can sit across from me if you want. I won't put the camera on you.
I'm joking.
No, I mean, you can.
Having fun.
The air quality here is shit.
Yeah,
It's what is it, about 120? It's
Yes,
unhealthy.
150.
Yeah, it was like 180. It was like 187. I ate 3 at one point. Yeah. Right now it's like 125. It's unhealthy for sensitive individuals. Are you a sensitive individual?
I eat spicy food to try and demonstrate how sensitive I am.
Well, you know what? I still have that chip, and the only thing is that my stomach has still been bothering me. I'm wondering if I have an ulcer. I'm still wondering that, but it's gotten better, so maybe I'll just get better. Yeah, I mean, the air here is not good, and I know this because, first of all, my nose knows it. Second of all, the purifier in my room is showing high levels. Anything over 10, really 5 is a lot for my room. And it's been at like 17. It was 23 the other day. I'm like, holy shit, why is it so dirty? And then certain times of the day, it's down like 0, 1, 2. So I went to the Run Against Democracy.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
I went and photographed it and shot video of the Tanatorn guy. And he basically said, I want Prayut to step down.
Sure.
And I want this country to have democratic reform. I want true democracy here.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe he actually said that. Well.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. Rhetorically, you can believe it, but with the way things are going.
A lot of
here,
people.
Really, wow.
And what's so funny is that it was technically it's a 4-hour event.
Right.
But the running portion only took some people like 20 minutes. 20 to maybe 40 minutes,
Really?
45 minutes. And and the rest of the time they're talking about, the Future Forward Party, Tanatorn. Everybody was so excited about Tanatorn. They wanted to take selfies with him and stuff and, all these kind of things.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. You're so good.
He says that to all the girls.
And have them listen.
Anyway, so that was interesting. Lots of people though.
Wow.
Lots and lots. They predicted approximately 10,000, and I would say that's a pretty good estimate. So yeah. So that's where we're at. You got anything to say about Thai politics?
Nothing.
You don't?
Because I want to stay out of jail.
Yeah, you see? He wants to stay out of jail. But, when you talk to him privately, he knows what he's talking about. He knows fairly well. We're both apathetic, but...
I'm not the senior veteran that you are, but after 18 years, I kind of know what's going on.
Yeah, you see? I'm humble. I am humble.
Yeah.
Actually, the truth is I know very little. What it is if I look it up and I can remember things for a little while.
That's the way I am. Yeah.
Then I'll be okay. But what happens is I forget.
You remember that...
It's not important to me, so I forget.
You remember those past contacts that when you first got here you thought were so important. And now that you've lived here a while, you go, never mind.
Yeah, I think in Thailand, and I've thought this way for a long time, your best bet is to fly under the radar. And I can't say that I do that on YouTube, but in my personal life, I do. I don't go and cause a bunch of problems. I don't go and, don't you know me? You don't know who I am? Or I'm an American. I don't do any of those things. That ain't going to get you anywhere, except maybe beaten up. I did have a little thing today where there's like all these videographers and cameramen, journalists, and everything, and they're all standing there, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, let me get my camera in there, and I'm trying to squeeze through, and everybody's elbowing each other. There's no politeness.
Yeah.
It goes out the window, right? I mean, it's everybody's fighting for the shot. And finally, this guy kind of elbowed me in the side of the face, and I was just like, screw this, man. And I just stepped into him and stepped in, kind of nudged him out of the way, and I went, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. It's the old, the car is coming and you put your hand up. So, yeah, thank you for letting me by, and you just hope he's going to slow down. So and the guy was like, oh, nah, gliet, nah. And I was like, and I wanted to, I actually thought, I want to elbow this guy in the face for saying that to me, because it's really impolite what he said. But I was like, oh, so it's okay for you to elbow me in the face and to, it was an accident, and to push and shove and, because you're so worried about getting your precious 2 seconds of this guy, and then when I step in and try to get, have a little parody, no, it's not okay.
It's not.
So, you have to, that's the thing, and I had to do that in Hong Kong too. You have to stand up for yourself sometimes. You just go, hey.
That's the way the world has become right now.
Yeah, no. Don't even get me started on the world. Don't get me started on the world. I think people in general are a bunch of animals. They're just animals. There is no civility.
Look, the media right now is making.
Oh, forget the media.
They're making excuses for Iran, saying, "Oh, they wouldn't have shot down, killed 187 people. It's the U.S. fault."
Yeah, it's our fault because the plane got shot down. No, it's if they didn't have this guy who was doing what he was doing, killing people all around the world, not only foreigners but Iranians, then we wouldn't have thought to ourselves. Trump wouldn't have thought, hey, maybe I should get rid of this guy while I have the opportunity because it's going to save lives, because maybe there actually is an imminent threat. Somehow I don't think he's like planning who he can kill next every minute of every day. He's got enough shit on his plate where he's not thinking, I'm going to kill this guy. Who knows? He may have a long list that says, these are the guys we need to get rid of if we have the opportunity. And somebody said, hey, some little analyst goes, sir, we have a guy, this guy's, he's going to be right here at this time. We can get rid of him. Who knows? But for everything the guy's done, why would you, as Michael Moore, as Rose McGowan, as a Democrat, why in the hell would you apologize? You freaking morons. Absolute dummies. Rose McGowan. She disgusts me. She's disgusting. Lena Dunham is disgusting to me. Michael Moore is disgusting to me.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Who? Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi.
Who?
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi. Can you tell that I don't like the Democrats? And it doesn't matter, because you know what? If the Republicans were this way, that's how it would be towards them. But they're not right now. At least not to the same extent. So, it's just the label. Blue, red, Democrat, Republican. They're all labels, but
More the same.
Same you. All right, do we want to talk about Thailand here? Is there anybody who wants to talk here? I mean, I've got like 6 people that talked out of like 38 people that were on. I don't know why. I mean, I think some people are either scared to say something. They're either like my mother in the background or somebody that is my buddy from home or something who's like, hey, I ain't saying anything. I don't want to get in the middle of that. Or they're apathetic. They just don't give a shit. They want to hear what I got to say and maybe get a chuckle. I think that's probably what it is.
I'll change the subject or propose a new subject.
Okay.
Maybe new. To an audience that actually may affect.
Okay, let me know.
For freelancers in California,
right.
How is AB5 affecting your lifestyle?
For what?
And your livelihood?
For freelancers?
Yeah.
Freelance journalists, freelance...
Anybody who is an individual.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember about that.
AB5 has gone into effect on January 1st.
Uh-huh. And what does that do? It taxes them or something? Or they have to pay something? Or what is it? Forget how it works.
I don't know the details, but I do know I've got a lot of freelance customers in my business.
Right.
And they've lost income because their customers are translation agencies, and the translation agencies are terminating their relationship because the agency doesn't want to get in trouble for having a wrong business relationship with a freelancer.
Yeah, so I remember hearing about that.
They've gone almost.
And they actually passed that.
Yeah, it's implemented.
Ian, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. It's not that difficult, but you need to be paying taxes, and that's the stipulation for me that has always been a little bit of a pain, because even in the media, even as somebody with a press card, unless you are working for the company that is paying you in Thai baht, you don't have to pay taxes. So you're a correspondent, which is basically what I'm considered. Freelancer, you can freelance and work because they know that this is what people do. They don't always just work. Even people who are working for CNN often do things for other companies. So, but maybe somebody in CNN has an office here, and so they're being paid by CNN Thailand. Whereas with me, I'm being paid from overseas, and so I don't show I'm paying Thai taxes. Because of that, I'm not eligible for permanent residency. which really sucks.
Permanent residency has absolutely no value add at all. There's no
Well,
value to it.
aside from not having to, show all the paperwork and go in every year.
There are cases where you might.
Well, yeah, you might have to, sure, but
It's not like an American green card. We're done.
No, where you're done and you never have to see anybody again, and that's it. Yeah, it's a pain. This is what I mean. Listen, why do you think everybody wants to go to America? Because they can. That's why. Hey, I'll go to America, and did you see that in Minnesota? What was it that happened? And this is the same area where that Omar chick that I despise. They said that one of the counties passed a law saying we can no longer have what did they do? What do they call it when they move immigrants from another country and they let them stay in a place and they help them, they get them on their feet? What's it called?
It's a refugee program of
Yeah,
some kind.
it was like a refugee program, and they had this in this area of Minnesota. Well, they've been doing this for a number of years, and so they passed a bill saying we can't afford it anymore. It's too much money. We can't keep bringing these people in. As soon as they did that, Omar is like, "Oh, this is racism. This shut the. I want to tell her, shut up."
Well, Trump just a couple days ago, Trump passed an executive order saying that some jurisdictions can opt out of that refugee program.
Yeah.
And just yesterday, Texas governor announced that Texas opts out of the refugee program.
Yeah.
And then Omar.
She opened her
Human
mouth,
being.
big mouth again.
Oh, she opened her big mouth again.
I
Texas
can't
is
say.
racist.
You know, I hope her and AOC and all these. I hope they all get the
I hope their
fucking
electorate.
boot.
I hope their electorate, their constituent electorate, sees the light and just votes for somebody else.
Me too. But
Schumer has
it's
a challenger now that's saying, "What has he done for our district? He hasn't done anything for our district. Vote for me." That'd be great if he's out.
yeah. Well, I don't know about Vietnam.
Don't keep up with Vietnam much. I know that they're.
The ex-Vietnam veterans are returning to Vietnam due to the affordable health care and inexpensive lifestyle. I don't know, but the health care is fantastic there. Seriously, for somebody who has got serious medical problems, I wouldn't want to go there. I think Thailand is a much better place. Maybe not, for somebody who has a small pension, doesn't have enough to qualify, but they can always qualify for a medical visa.
As crazy as it sounds, Vietnam is nowhere near as American phobic as Thailand is xenophobic, for fear of every foreigner.
That's true, Tom. This is the other Tom I was talking about. So we got a Tom on here.
Hi, Tom.
And I was like, freaking Tom, he's always sending me messages through the stream. I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm like, because I thought maybe you were watching.
Oh, no. I don't do that.
Yeah, he doesn't watch.
I like to go do.
But he thought I was talking to him, like, stop sending me messages. And he was like, I didn't send you a message. I haven't sent you a message in months.
I'm Tom H. Who are you? Tom what?
Tom O.
Tom O. Okay.
Sorry, Tom O sounds better than Tom H. He's got you beat there.
Well, you know what I got behind my name.
I don't want to hear it. Anyway, we were talking about Vietnam.
I don't know anything about it. I just know.
No, I liked Vietnam when I was there. I don't know that I want to live there.
I've never
that
been
I would
there.
want to live there.
I've been shocked at their openness to returning Americans to be active in their community.
I'm not.
It's a surprise. It's a nice surprise to me.
It's like
surprise.
I think the people are generally very nice, just like in Thailand. It's the governments that you have to be careful of.
Yeah.
And the locals who think that because you're an American or you're a foreigner, that instead of paying $300 for the hotel or the apartment per month or whatever it is, paying $300 a month, you're going to pay $600 and you're going to do it with a smile. And then when you tell them, no, listen, screw you, I'm not going to do it, and they tell you $500, you're like, no, I'm not going to do it. They don't like that. And I've talked to numerous people, 3-4 people I've talked to who said they got pissed off at people in Vietnam because they kept trying to rape them on the prices of the apartments.
I understand a tourist economy.
Yeah, but
I grew up in Maryland, and the eastern shore of Maryland was a very tourist economy. And people from Washington, D.C. flooded the Maryland beach every summer. And in 4 months summer, they had to make enough money, they had to earn enough money to live the other 8 months of the year when no tourists are there. I understand that. And I can even accept it.
I don't know.
I grudgingly tolerate the
I don't have
the
a
racism
problem.
in Thailand. I do.
Okay, you tolerate it. Well, the
grudgingly
thing is that in America, if you try to do some of the things that they do here,
Absolutely.
people would be screaming and yelling, and that's why some people scream and yell here. I don't really care about the national parks. They charge more and all that stuff. I don't like it. I think it's bullshit, but I'm not going to scream and yell about it. And you know what?
The national parks I do understand, and I agree.
I don't have a problem with it. And if I really want to go, I'll pay it. If I don't want to go, I'll be like, no, I'm not. Now, what I do have a problem with is when you go to some place like in Siam Discovery or something, and it's 50 baht for Thais and they want 500 for foreigners.
Exactly.
Or
at some of the national parks, I've actually shown my Thai driver's
me
license,
too.
and I've gotten the domestic
at the
fees.
ancient city, the last time I went to the ancient city, I spoke Thai to the lady,
Yeah.
and I showed her my my passport, and she saw that I was with my wife and kids, and and she was like, okay, Yeah, I know. And listen, today I gotta say, I don't have any problem standing up for the national anthem of Thailand. I don't have a problem. It's what people do. It's required of you, and if you don't like it, leave. Right?
It's my way of saying thank you for
letting me stay.
letting me be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my way to honor.
But I will say this:
Then let it
that
be.
today, when it happened, and I was walking around, and I had to stop.
Right.
And I'm thinking, I got things to do here. I got to walk around. I thought, okay, I'll stop. And I stopped, and I just stood there, and I thought to myself, here I am in a foreign country, standing at attention for a foreign song, basically pledging allegiance to that,
To the king.
to the king, to the country. And I thought, how did I get to this point? I never liked to do it for the United States. I mean, I did it out of pride. But there were times when I was like, what a pain in the ass,
Well, that morning,
Like in school when I was a little kid, they made you stand up and dun 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 dun. They used to have that dun 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 dun
Pledge of
dun
Allegiance.
dun 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 dun, and then they would play they would say something, and then they would play the national anthem.
that morning national anthem across the PA systems in villages in Thailand atrophied for a long time, and it is now on the upswing again. Thais are actually honoring it more than they did.
Well, they
last year.
should. They should. It's a form of unity.
Well, it's yet another sign to me that the country is returning.
No, I don't take a
to
knee.
Thaiism.
I don't take a knee, Tom. That fucking guy, I'm glad he ain't playing football. Let him stay out of football. Piece of shit.
I don't understand the whole bullshit about.
Fangula.
Why did he, as a celebrity football player, have such power to generate such a commotion anyway?
Well, he caused a commotion just because he didn't want to stand up.
But was he that good of a quarterback to begin
Well, no,
with?
nobody's picked him up since
And
then.
nobody wants him.
Nobody wants his ass. He's a pain in the ass.
Rightfully
And
so.
here's the thing. I understand. You want to speak out against police brutality against African Americans. Okay, I can understand that. But don't do it on the football field. People don't give a shit. They don't care. And I'm going to say it again. Most people, I understand this, and I don't always like it. But most people are too busy to give a shit about anything other than their own little bubble. There is a guy who's got a channel on YouTube, very well-known channel. It's called The Art of Photography. He did a video a long time ago that says nobody cares about your photography.
That's true.
And it's true. It's so true. Nobody cares. Woo-hoo. Fucking guy.
They might like this picture, but they don't care that it was your picture.
Right,
for the most
right.
part.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what do you think? I mean, what do you think the cellular phone is? Cellular phone now is the method of zombifying the masses. Yeah, I mean, look at him. He's over here zombied already. TV was the same thing. That's why they called it the boob tube. You know, it's like bottom line is you're born, you grow up. However you grow up, you figure you got to make your way through life. You got to do something, whether it's YouTube, shooting photos, you know, being a porn star, whatever it might be. Thank you very much, Sky Trooper. I appreciate it. You are the first super chat of the day. I appreciate that.
Who was it that said religion is the opiate of the masses?
Yeah, who said that?
I'll look that up.
Yeah, look it up. Oh, you know.
The telephone is the opiate of the masses nowadays.
I'm not smart enough to come up with all the things that Ricky Gervais comes up with about religion. But man, he did that. He and Bill Maher have done some great movies and specials on religion. And I just, you know, I'm sorry. Do you believe in a little green man in front of your face? Because I say there's one. He's your God. So there's a little green man. His name is Kazoo. Remember the great Kazoo? Yeah, he was the great.
Karl Marx.
He was the great Kazoo. I don't want to get into that far. It was George Carlin who said that.
Oh yeah. Oh,
George Carlin. Yeah.
No, Karl Marx said about the opiate of the masses.
Oh, is that what he said? Oh.
It is the opium of the people, but it's a translation from German. So
Man, I've been up since like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh man, better you.
And I haven't had any coffee yet. Believe it or not.
You want an espresso? I'll buy you an espresso.
Oh, I'll take an espresso, sure. Thank you. I was going to get one later on, but, you know, I'm so busy here. I'm so busy. That's nice of him. So anyway, let's see here. You know, this is what I don't get. I will say one thing about China. I'm not a scholar. I haven't studied Asian history or, you know, I haven't studied China at great lengths or anything like that. And I have nothing against people in general. Just don't order me to do something. Don't order me to believe a certain way. Talk to me about it. Tell me why being a member of the Communist Party is the way that I should live. Tell me why. Explain to me. Sway me. You know, maybe then. That one was for you, Gennaro, and you're not here. I don't know where you are. I did that for you. I did that for Monash. Where's Monash? Monash came in the other day. He hasn't been here in ages. I don't know what's going on with him. Yeah, you know, this is the thing. It's like watching I Dream of Jeannie. You already know what's going to happen. So, you know, you get bored with the show. It's the same thing. Except I don't look like Jeannie. She was so hot. Thank you very much. Barbara Eden, when she played I Dream of Jeannie.
She's still a hot.
She still looks great. She's like 75, 80 years old. She looks fantastic.
She's one of the very few examples of
you know why? Because she was a dancer.
Well, yeah. But she's one of the very few examples of cautiously and properly using
Her stardom?
Well, no, plastic surgery.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, some people overdo it. She's had
Yeah.
some, but she's done.
But
it
she's
right.
also taken I think
And
she's written a couple of books
and
about
she's taken
how to
good
take care of herself and those kind of things. And she's.
And she seems like a very happy lady. So I mean,
And let me ask you
that's a
something,
huge thing.
Tom.
Yeah, what's
if
up?
you were single,
Yeah.
she's like 75, 80 years old, and she came over and she's like, Tom, I'm gonna bang your brains out. Would you do it?
Sure.
Okay. All right. At least she didn't lie. And you know, that's how you know when you're getting old. Some 80-year-old woman says she's gonna do you, and you're like, yeah, okay, I will.
What do you get a 99?
How many 20-year-old men are gonna go, yeah, she's 80, I'll do her, okay.
What do you get a 99-year-old man for his birthday? A sexy 70-year-old lady, okay?
How about a 20-year-old? He might not make it to 100 then. Oh, yeah.
everyone worries about this 20-year difference or 15-year difference or 5-year difference.
You know what? Don't you have anything more to worry about? I mean, seriously, think about it.
Lots of things to
Listen, what was
concern myself
what
with,
was
but none of
Anna
them are
Nicole
worries.
Smith was married to that old guy,
Oh yeah.
and he was, I don't know, 80 years old, and she was like 25, 30 at the time.
It was
And
pure love.
they went nuts. Well, you know, look at Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
You think he's not smart enough to know? Listen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be very blunt about it. When you get to be, listen, you even get to be my age. You know, you're almost 60. You're closing in on 60. Especially like Tom's age.
Just a couple years older than you.
Are you 60 yet?
I'm 6 months away.
Oh, so he's 59. Okay, well, at least he's not 69.
Maybe 6 months.
Anyway, when you get to be our ages, and especially when you're up there in the 70s and 80s, all hope is gone for some little 20-year-old woman to look at your body and she gets aroused. She's looking at you saying, I love that saggy ass. Boy, it's a real turn on.
Only when that ass is sagging because the wallet's too heavy.
Wasn't it Jack Nicholson who was in that movie, As Good as It Gets, or something like that, where he was walking and he turned around, he had the hospital gown on and his ass cheeks were hanging along and he was walking along. Oh, that was hilarious.
And he was getting back together with a long-lost old wife or something, ex-wife or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I saw that and I went, you can't unsee it.
This is true.
You can't unsee that. So what do you think a woman thinks, you know, that's why you got to get old with her. Seriously, because she remembers what, in her mind, it's like a dog. If you have a big dog who you raise from a pup,
Yeah.
and there's a bigger dog who is a more mature dog,
Uh-huh.
that more mature dog usually is the alpha of the two,
Right.
right? Because he kind of was buddies with the little dog as it was growing up to be a big dog. It's the same thing. So when you're, you know, so the big dog never knows, hey, this little dog, I could snap this dog into two pieces. No, he's thinking, this little dog is my boss. He's the alpha. So when it comes to the women, you know, you get some women, you're 25, 30, she's 20. She remembers, hey, you look good. You remember, hey, she looks good. As you get older, you both don't look as good, but you still are like, yeah. It's the same kind of thing. Mentally, you know, there's that area in your brain.
That's why myopia is such a really good thing.
You're what?
Myopia. I short-sighted, going short-sighted when you get older.
Oh, myopia. Oh, okay. I thought you meant I thought you were trying to say myopium. And
I was on opium.
Your
before,
opium?
no,
I was like, give me
myopic.
some.
The myopic syndrome, yes.
You know something I've been thinking about for a long time, and I've been thinking about going there, and it is a bit dangerous, but to go to the opium fields in not in the Golden Triangle, but on the edge. You go down farther south towards, like, if you go at Massot and then you go up.
You mean my wife's hometown?
Is that your wife's?
I'm not kidding.
Really?
She's on the eastern side of Chiang Mai, not the western side. But there's lots of talk up there about how the economy has boomed because of the opium.
Right. It's back. It's
Yeah.
back. And
Yeah.
the thing that I wanted to do is, you know, like, I mean, I have a couple of Burmese that could act as my liaisons. But I know that it is kind of dangerous because some of the people don't take kindly to it. But, you know, there are ways around it. You don't take their photo of their face, any identifying thing.
Maybe you take a dry run without cameras and just make some relationships.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. You know, I was going to do that must have been 15 years ago. I was going to do that. And they were going to, I was going to do it for this particular magazine that deals with Burma, the subject of Burma, right? Myanmar, sorry. And it's like Indian, Native American. I didn't really get the gist of it. I was like, why can't you call them Indians? You know, I never did get that. And then it hit me. I was like, when my sister was, you know, giving me a hard time about it, she's like, you can't say that anymore. I'm like, it's the intention. I didn't mean it.
Sorry, I do say it.
You say what, Indian?
Yeah, sure.
Like in, not from India.
As in, Columbus made a mistake and called them Indians. Got it.
Yeah, well. See, you know, I'll call you whatever. I've already said this.
Yeah.
You want me to call you Tinkerbell instead of Tom? You want me to recognize you as I don't know, what do they call them? I don't even know.
I'm a cat.
A what?
I'm a cat.
You're a cat?
Yeah, I changed my species from human to cat.
You're a cat. Okay. So I'll call him a cat, and his name is Tinkerbell.
There's a famous woman on YouTube that says she's a cat. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't even want to go there because I don't want to get that controversial.
Oh, speaking of gender-centric news, in a positive way. Did anyone see that 4 of the, 12 or 15 new cabinet members in Finland are all women, and the oldest cabinet member is 34 years old?
Really?
Yeah. The prime minister
I remember that.
Is one of the 4 women.
Yes.
The Minister of Education,
She's
the Minister
the youngest.
of Interior.
She's the youngest prime minister ever in Finland's history, or something like that, or ever.
Take the gender away from it.
Well, as long as she's
4 young
capable.
people under 34, under 35, 34 and under, as ministers of a country, I question their seniority. I question their experience. Sure,
Yeah.
they have experience, but I question the depth, not the breadth.
Well,
I question
you know,
the depth
they
of
could
their
be
experience.
extremely intelligent. You don't know.
Intelligence is
Is anybody
one thing,
from Finland
experience
here? We got anybody from
is-
Finland?
Experience is something else. I wish them the best.
Yeah, but
Not
listen,
because
I got to
they're
tell
women,
you
not-
something.
They don't stand as examples. They just are 4 people.
I have to tell you
who got
something.
voted by
Because
the electorate.
in Hong Kong, you know, they had the recent local elections.
Right.
The majority of people who won are extremely young and inexperienced,
I
just
remember
like
that.
that.
I remember that,
And
yeah.
that's part of the problem, is that they may not know what they're getting themselves into. And I mean, I met a guy, he was young, he was 20 something. And we were like, what are you here for? To, you know, promote your party and to promote your, you know, your district and all. He's like, no, I'm just here to, you know, check things out, you know. And I was thinking to myself, wow, you know. But, you know, maybe what happens is you get people like him, you get people like Joshua Wong who are young. I mean, Joshua Wong started when he was extremely young. And they learn over time how to do things. Listen, I was extremely impressed by this guy, Thanatorn.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. He had literally hundreds of people around. And I was, you know, being jostled to and from. And I was like right in the front. I was right in front of him.
Right.
And, you know, I had to fight for my position. It's a jockey for a position. But one after another, people came up to him. Oh, please, can I have a selfie? Oh, please, can I have... And he would just say, cop, okay, cop, die, cop. Very, very, you know, calm and collected in the face of... And, you know, he did have some security around him. He had people that were holding hands around him. And then there was people around them that were, like, kind of pushing people out of the way.
I guarantee there were bodyguards
yeah.
incognito all
Oh,
over.
yeah.
Rightfully so. But, look, our founding fathers codified in the Constitution that age plays a major important role in experience and qualifications.
Well, they didn't live to be as old back then either.
But that doesn't mean I want a 79, 80-year-old candidate to run for president of any party.
How about if she was Barbara Eden? I'm joking. It's a bad joke.
Maybe she should go and teach those young whippersnapper.
Well, how old is
Finnish.
Trump right now? 74?
Hey, my point stands exactly. I don't want somebody that old. I mean, that's twice the age of the minimum age to be president.
Yeah.
Minimum age to be president is 25, 35.
Well, then you're going to have to
So then
vote
let's
to
get
change
some
it
younger,
then.
Let's get some younger people in there. I'm not saying get 25-year-old.
What's her name?
president.
Tulsi Gabbard?
I like Tulsi Gabbard, except for a couple things she said recently.
Yeah, I don't know.
Say some good things that I liked.
I don't know. I have a hard time right now. I'd like to just let Trump keep rolling on.
Look,
be
I
honest.
think that's what will happen. There's nothing wrong with that. I would like to see some new blood. And
Well,
we
he
have-
was new blood,
Well, he was.
and he is.
In his own way.
Ooh,
But, you know,
what was that?
I can't say that I like...
How did this channel turn from Chowderhead to a political commentary?
I showed up.
No, it didn't have nothing to do with you.
Okay.
It's been transforming, and you know, even my mother said the other day, I posted something about there was a poll
Uh-huh.
about the Hong Kong police and how many believed in what they were doing and felt they could trust them, 90% of the people polled. And there was something, by the time I got to it, holy moly, by the time I got to it, there was something like 500 people polled. Yeah, well, that is a big question. But out of all the people polled, like 90.1% felt they could not trust the Hong Kong police to do their job professionally. 90%. Can you imagine that?
It's not necessarily a random survey that you're looking at, but it is.
Well, that's the other part. You know, who are they surveying?
It's a
Are they
one-sided
stacking
audience.
the deck, or well, you don't know.
I'm not saying they're stacking it. There are natural divisions in life and where people show up.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, why did you move away from? Why has it drifted from Chowderhead? Because talking Chowderhead in Thailand can get us in jail.
No, that's not why I
Well,
drifted. I drifted because, to me, while the Chowderhead topic, the topic of Chowderheads,
Genre of topics.
while it is entertaining at time and it's funny, I also think that, 50% of the time the guys were idiots. And,
Only?
I'm not a genius or anything. I don't say that I'm a genius. I'm no rocket scientist, but I certainly enjoy constructive interaction with people and communicating at a level that's slightly higher than, I don't know why she doesn't love me. I gave her a bunch of money and she said she loved me. And then when I left her, she wants more money. I don't understand.
When I met you,
Maybe
Scott,
she doesn't want you because she's an idiot. Or you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When I met you, Scott, was it
Slip of the tongue.
4 or 5 years ago?
I didn't make them up, believe me.
When we met 4 or 5 years ago, and I saw the topics that you were talking about, I'd already been in Thailand well more than
You were already
10
you
years.
went through the Chowderhead phase already.
I don't ever say I got out of it, but anyway, the point
He's
is
married though.
Yeah.
So and he's a good boy now.
The point is, when I saw what you were talking about in each of your conversations, I literally thought that you were going back 10 years and reading the Pattaya Today newspaper. Because the things that you're talking about happened 10, 15 years ago that I was reading in the newspaper in Pattaya.
Well, remember
Nothing
something.
new under the sun.
Remember something, that even back then, the number of people communicating about Thailand was far less than now. The forums, the videos, the number of channels, the information was far less than it is now.
Back when I'm talking about in 2003, the online
was nothing.
presence didn't exist, and the newspapers in Pattaya were the way that people
Right.
would voice their opinions.
Or what was it, Bernard Trink with the Bangkok, what was it, Bangkok Tonight, or I forget what it was.
Well, they ran an article like Dear Abby in the Pattaya English expat
Gotta
newspapers.
sneeze.
And the Dear Abby columns, the Dear Abby style columns in those newspapers were all foreigners from the U.S., from Netherlands, from Germany, from England, talking about, I came back after being gone for 3 months and I bought a house and I came back and my wife's brother was living with her.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
Hey, listen, I remember when I first came over here going
Ain't
into a go-go bar with some chick. And some guy came over and sat next to us and she goes, "Oh, he's my brother." And I was like, "Your brother? Seriously?" And then I was like, "This guy ain't her brother." I was like, but that was a different time. So now it's morphed into this,
I haven't been on that
this
scene for a long time.
advice, political commentary
you're
slash photojournalism slash adventure slash what, I don't know what it is.
You're going
Maybe that's
legitimate.
part of my problem.
You're going legitimate, buddy.
I'm going legit. I don't think, that's part of the problem, is I don't know that I would ever fit in any place legit. It's got to be some kind of place like, a rebel. I don't want to say rebel news because I already
without
know
a
about
cause.
rebel news, but it's not even really news in the traditional sense. It's just, let me show you stuff and you can decide for yourself what you see. Which is, if you remember, when the days of Walter Cronkite and David Brinkley and Chet Huntley and all those guys. They came on. They talked about.
They announced the facts.
They announced the fact: who, what, where, when, why, and how. Right? That's what they talked about. They didn't give their opinion. You know, they had one like opinion column in a newspaper, and that was it. Now you get an opinion every single day. There's, you know, commentary, opinion. You got all these different things.
Every supposed news article is an opinion.
What is this here? Staying in Satorn business area, most of the women, the women, well, you get women who are a little younger and they are working in a business environment. They tend to take care of themselves and they haven't popped out a couple kids. You know, they're not 45, 50 years old. Those are the places just about in any big city that you're going to find attractive women. I think the live streaming helped morph your channel. I don't know about that, to be honest. It's a different type of, you know, live. Hey, live.
Listen to their opinion. Maybe it did.
Maybe. I don't know. But if you want continual live stuff, then, you know, keep watching. Share the video. Share the streams. Sign up for Patreon. Go into my GoFundMe that I just created. At least read it and share it. You know, I understand that.
Even I bought him an espresso this morning.
Yeah, he bought me an espresso. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Be good to him. He's a good guy.
Well, thank you. And I'll tell you one thing. Now, I don't like to, generally I don't pat myself on the back or, you know, I don't want to, you know, toot my own horn. And while I can be very lazy at times, generally that comes after I busted my ass for quite some time. And I'm completely out of energy. But I will say this, ever since I was 15 years old, actually 14 years old, I have been busting my ass working. I worked in a barrel factory, you know, in oil drums, and we reconditioned those, and I would load trucks up. We would paint them up, we would recondition them, get them all to where they're like brand new, then we would paint them, throw them on a 40-foot trailer, and I'd have to load them up. And I mean, you know, I've done a lot of things where I've busted my ass.
Well, I'll tell you, since I was 13 years old, I've been manipulating my environment so I didn't have to work and take advantage of the situation. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But, you know, you do your thing on the computer and you do that with the translation and all that kind of stuff. Okay, great.
No, I'm not talking about that. I moved beyond.
But what I'm talking about is that generally when I go, even this morning I go out. All right, granted, right now I'm sitting here shooting the breeze, you know, and it's easy, blah, blah, blah. But I got, you know, I just talk and basically I just spew out a bunch of information that's in my brain. It's not like I have a format in my brain right now. I don't have things written down. It's fly by the seat of your pants. But one thing that I always do is I always work hard. I mean, I do. Even when I wasn't working as a photojournalist, I was still working hard at other things.
And I hardly work.
Well, good for you. But no, think about it.
I know. I
fucking A. I'll tell you what, I do like this strap.
Oh, good.
It's the Black Rapid.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's attached at the bottom.
It's attached at the bottom.
Like a tripod.
Right.
That's cool.
So what you can do is, you see, I can set this and move this, which I don't understand why they did it this way instead of allowing me to run the strap to it. But it's like a stopper.
Yeah.
Okay, and you stop it right here, and then you can swing up the lens, and like, see, I can stop this, and then it won't go anywhere past this. And so it's great because it allows me, one thing it does is instead of having it around my neck and it's bouncing up and down off my gut, I can hold something else, like the phone.
You know what would be really cool? A lens ring with a strap here that would actually tie your lens to the strap so the lens isn't bouncing around like this. So that it actually holds the lens. So that
like a little
safety catcher. I don't know.
Like something like a little Velcro thing that went around it or something. But it was It
quick
wouldn't
release.
come off, but it wouldn't turn the aperture.
Yeah, because the way
ring.
it is now, the lens can flop around anywhere.
Well, yeah, but you could set it to where it's tight.
Anyway,
Thought that was a mutual acquaintance of ours.
yeah.
Kind of looks like her. Anyway, yeah, I got a letter and it says, I'm going to Hong Kong hopefully in the next couple of weeks with you guys' help. Otherwise, I won't be. That's my letter. I got a letter. You can read it. Go to that link. And it hasn't come up. I don't know why. There's not enough people commenting, I guess. You know. What do we got here? 32 or 22? 33. Wow. Not fantastic, but... You know, when I was in Hong Kong, that one particular stream that did really, really well, I got 310 or 320 people at the same time. That was my record. Never come close to that since then. Appreciate that, Jared. One of the things that, you know what I really want to get is, I have that thing, you know, I showed this thing. I showed you this.
Right.
The problem with this is I can't put my camera on it. Right? So what I want to do is get a monopod. I have a monopod, but I want to get a monopod that it's got a tripod on the bottom. And I've tried taking on my monopod, I've tried taking the bottom out and then screwing something like, you know, a little...
I used to have something about that size for a camera, but it's long gone.
Well, what I need is one that I put the camera on,
Yeah.
right? And it'll go down to about this small. And then I can put a little adapter here, and then you put the phone on there. And then what you do is, when you're standing there and you got like the cops there and you're streaming, you can stream, boom, you set the thing down. It's got tripod feet on it.
Yeah.
You set it down, and then you can shoot. And then as soon as they start moving around, boom, you pick it up, you collapse it, you start running, you still have the thing on top of the camera, and you can still shoot your photos. That makes it much easier. But obviously if you have this on, this is already taken up, so you can't do that. I wonder, do they have an adapter where you can put one in and then get two things? I do have a thing where on here you put an adapter, it's a bar, and the bar sits like this, and then there's two pieces that have male screws in them, and then you can screw whatever you want in, like a microphone.
I've also seen them riser type. Instead of wide, they go rise.
Yeah. Well, I got to go down to Rode this week and see about getting them to fix my microphone or exchange it. They, you know, I contacted them and they said, one guy said, "Oh, you're going to have to come in. There might be a fee to fix it, right?" And I was like, okay. Why? What really gets me is when you don't really do anything to the gear, and it falls apart, and then it's out of warranty. You got to pay for it because they created a piece of shit, or because they created something that wasn't strong enough to hold up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It happens.
I wrote Australia, where their main office is, and they said, "Hey, we'll send you a replacement." Then they said, "Oh, because you're in Thailand, you're going to have to go to the place that I already contacted." So now I have to go down this week, and I'll go down to the place and get it taken care of.
Take that email that says we'll replace it.
Oh, I'm going to take all the emails. Yeah, I have all of them. So that's a positive thing. And then Fuji contacted me, and they said they would loan me a lens, but I haven't heard back from the guy yet. That is good. I really want this one particular. We're talking photography now. Now it's morphed in from politics to photography. I want this. There's a link, Tom. The super chat's not available in Thailand, but there is a link down below in the description. I think it says something about GoFundMe, or maybe it's in the chat already. And if you click on that, it'll allow you to make a contribution. It doesn't matter where you are. That's why, and the GoFundMe, what's good about it is everything is combined in there, so you can see exactly how much I've raised, which I like that.
Transparency.
Yeah, transparency. I mean, shit. I wish that, you know, it didn't cost as much as it cost to be in Hong Kong. Let me tell you something. I was surprised during the Chinese New Year, I looked on Thai Smile, and Thai Smile, I went a couple times, and round trip it was about $300, right? I looked the other day, it was like $750 round trip. No, one way.
New Year's is coming up, yeah.
$750 one way to go to Hong Kong on Thai Smile. Not Thai Air, Thai Smile, which is their budget airline. Hey, Soy Dog Cowboy, what's happening? We're just talking here.
I go to Florida in 3 weeks.
Oh, you go to Florida in 3 weeks again? How you gonna be there 2 months?
2 months this year.
How is your old lady going?
Nope, I'll be alone. She'll be alone.
Well, better get reacquainted or make better. No, I'm not gonna say it. I don't even want to think about it. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting
Sorry.
to think about it. Yeah. Anyway,
Gone from your old lady for 2 months. Just think about that.
Yeah, and living in my mom's house.
Make sure you lock the door.
Anybody who's going to be in the Tampa area, you can get to me through Scott. We can go have a beer.
Make sure. Yeah, well, he is good on that. Make sure that you lock the door, though. We don't want a Phoebe Cates type.
That's right.
God, I saw an old interview with her, like on David Letterman or something. Man, she was cute.
Who's that?
Phoebe Cates. Remember, she was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. She got out of the water, and she's in this red bikini.
I seem to remember Phoebe.
And then Judge Reinhold was jerking off in the bathroom, looking at her or whatever. She was cute, man. She was really cute. And that's probably why Kevin Kline ended up marrying her, and he's kept her, like, for 25 years or whatever.
Good for them. Honestly, good
Yeah.
for them. Really.
No, I think it's great, man. Listen, if you're going to get married, you might as well stay together. You got to work through some stuff sometimes. And there is a lot of stuff. How long you been married now? This time?
8 years, but we've been together for 12.
8 years. Wow. Soy Dog, what's happening? We're going to have to come down there and see you soon. I'll try to get Jono, Mr. Longhorns.
Going on where? Cowboy?
Nah, Pattaya. We'll go for a night or so.
I just came back from
There's a couple other guys I want to notify. So we should have a nice little group there. I don't know. I haven't talked to that guy Dre. I think he's already gone back to the U.S. And then there's was it MedTech? Is he around now? I think he's in. I don't know where he's at. You got Tom's around, but he's with his wife. I don't expect him to make a trip to Pattaya. I understand.
Times are changing. You never know.
You never know, yeah. Although my wife would be like, "What?" If I told her I'm going to bring Alex and Nicholas, she'd be like, "No, you're not. Not without me, you're not."
Yeah, exactly. My wife's working almost 7 days a week now. Three different projects, 3 different jobs.
Well, that's good and bad.
Yeah.
It's bad if you don't bitch and moan. I mean, it's good if you don't bitch and moan at her. It's bad if you start complaining about you never see her, blah blah blah.
She'll tire of one and then the next, and one will rise to the top.
Uh-huh.
And I just have the patience to let her figure out which one rises to the top. That's all. Really.
Well. So, Soy Dog Cowboy, what's going on? You staying out of trouble? I've heard very little from you lately. That must be a good thing. Kind of like my father says about kids eating. When they're eating food and you don't hear them, it must be good because all I hear is teeth. That's what my old man says. It's so funny.
I'm going to get out of here.
I still remind him of that.
I'm going to go do some work. Later.
Work?
Yeah.
I thought you don't work.
It's a 4
All right.
word.
All right, take it easy, man. All right. Well, there it is there. The one and only Mr. Tom H. Not to be mistaken with Mr. Tom O. Is this early in the morning for you, Soy Dog Cowboy? Thank you, Tom O. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sort of, yeah. I kind of figured that. You know, what I was saying earlier, and, you know, listen, I know I complain, I bitch and moan. At the end of the day, I do what I got to do. Whether I'm bitching and moaning, complaining, or whatever, I always try to at least do what I got to do. Which was like today. You know, I wake up sometimes, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, but I piddle around. You know, I go take a leak, I come lay back down for a second, I look at the Instagram, I get up, I go over to my computer, turn it on, get things cranking, answer some emails, go downstairs, you know, have some coffee, talk to the kids when they're getting ready to go to school, talk to the wife when she's getting ready to leave, go back upstairs, maybe take another piss, get on the computer, start doing some things, and then it's 8, 9 o'clock. Then I'm like, all right, I'm ready to rumble. I can go out now. But like today, no. Actually, I woke up at about 4:45. I started seeing light at 4:30, and I thought, I got to get up. And I looked at the clock, it was like 4:43. And I was out the door and on my way at about 5:25 or something like that in a Grab. So that was pretty early for me. And then, you know, I went to the Soy Dog, I went to the Run Against Dictatorship. It's easy for me to say Run Against Democracy, but that's a mistake. I don't mean to say that. It's Run Against Dictatorship, which was organized by the Future Forward Party. It was interesting, but, you know, I get tired of, you know, all the rah-rah events. I get tired of them very, very quickly. And I just try to get in, get the shots that I need, and get out. And I got a lot of video. I'm going to try to get the video edited today. Just transfer the stuff over and make a short video, put it up today so you guys can see what it was like. Because, again, I was right up in the front there, getting shoved around, getting pushed around, and, you know, trying to squeeze my way in to shoot video of this guy, Thanatorn. He's the leader of the Future Forward Party here, which is a big deal here in Thailand. And it may not be such a big deal for me, but my wife knows who he is. The taxi driver knew about the event, which is Run Against Democracy, but they also call it Wing Lai Lung, which is Run for Uncle or something like that. Run Against Uncle. What was it? I can't remember now. Blanked out. So, yeah, interesting morning. We got the Chinese New Year coming up. My guess is I'm going to be in Thailand for that. I'm going to put up a thing right now talking about it. I'll be there. At least you get to see what's going on this year for Chinese New Year here in Bangkok. They start really early. They usually have a little platform where they kick it off. And then they're selling all kinds of food and, you know, cooking stuff up. And you got people, the lion dance and you know, there's all this stuff going on. And that's here in Bangkok as opposed to in China or Hong Kong. So that should be kind of fun. And there's a couple other things I got planned. So, you know, keep checking back. I'll put some stuff up. I still got stuff from the South. I still got the end of the year video. I still got stuff from Hong Kong to go up. I got all kinds of stuff. It's a matter of getting everything done as quickly as I can and how I want to get it done, doing it how I want to do it. It's a little difficult. I got a lot of great drone footage from Suratani. I'm not sure how to use it aside from, you know, inserting it into the videos. But, you know, we'll figure it out. Should be kind of fun. So, anyway, I think this stream is kind of taking its course. I apologize again for not being able to bring you the whole event that was happening as it happened there. But, you know, when there's 10,000 people there and they're all, you know, almost all of them are using their phones. kind of difficult to connect. So kind of quiet day for a Sunday. Quiet for the mall. I'd like to know what happened with the rival event, which was cheer for Uncle Prayut. I'd like to know what happened with that. So when I get home, I have to check that out. But anyway, I think that's pretty much all I got. So anybody got anything else here? I usually get up earlier, but I've been lazy. Well, yeah, I understand that. That's why, like I was saying earlier, my wife was like, "Oh, should I go run with you there?" I go, "I'm not going to run. I'm going to take photos and shoot video and stream." "Yeah, but maybe I should go." I go, "Well, then go." But I knew she wouldn't go because it was too early for her to wake up, because I know she's too lazy to get out of bed and to go. You know, it's 5:30, 6 o'clock, she'd do it. Anyway, 34 people and nobody's talking. Nobody's making one comment. That's why it leads me to believe that it's time to go. Larry, I hope you're happy with your whatever came out, whatever you made today. Maybe maybe you're the guy who Longhorns was talking about. I don't remember. There was another guy who was a baker. I don't remember. Was it the guy that came here and that I helped? The one guy that everybody was giving such a hard time? I don't think he was a baker. I don't remember, though. Maybe he was. Nah, I have not heard anything more about it. I know it's a nasty situation. That doesn't usually happen. You know, those kind of things don't usually happen very often here. But, you know, it's, I don't want to, you know, again, I don't want to be negative, but I just think it's the way of the world. People are finding, I think there's too many people in the world, too much information. People are overloaded. It's driving them bonkers. And, you know, somebody, they have no way to get ahead or to feed themselves or whatever. Or they've already gone nuts, and then what happens? They act out. That's scary, though, because I've always thought of Thailand as a pretty safe place. You know, unless you mouth off, unless you really get aggressive and you get violent yourself, it generally is a pretty safe place. I mean, you know, there's all kinds of battles going on between people with their ideologies. Think about it. You got Muslims with their, what is it? I'm blanking out now. Sharia law. You got the CCP. You got, well, I'm enjoying it. I'm still wet, sticky. I have to take a shower when I go home. But right now, I don't think I would mind being in the cold. But you got all that. Look at the United States. I actually, for me to even think, what if there was a civil war in the United States? For me to even think that way would have been, you know, 20 years ago, that would have been unfathomable for me. But I'm actually thinking that way now. Wow, what happens? Right now you have a civil war, but there's no bullets. What happens if bullets and people start getting violent, a lot more violent? Then what's going to happen? Who do we got working here today? We got, you got the guy there, the manager. You got, what's her name? Mild, and you got Creo, who is very nice. They're all very nice. No Smile, she's not working. So yeah, between all, you got all these different ideals, and you got, people that are rich, people who are poor, and you got people, thinking, why can they live that way and I can't live this way? How come we don't get help? You got those kind of issues going on. You got all kinds of problems in the world. I don't know, I think maybe now people are more aware of these problems than ever before, and it's taken its toll, especially when they have no recourse. I'd like to know if there's a study or some kind of a study that somebody can do to figure that out. Does it have anything to do with the internet and the available amounts of information now? To me, that's interesting. I'd like to know. It's become a pitchfork moment in history. Well, I think we are at a crucial time. I think the next 10 years of the world are, and it could be even less, but I think at least a good 10 years. Give it 10 years to be safe. I think next 10 years are going to show us what direction we're headed. What happens? What happens if there is a World War III? What happens if that happens? What's going to happen to the world? Yeah, like you were saying, one guy was saying earlier, I forget who it was. What's going to happen when Trump is gone? What if we have some mealy-mouthed president who couldn't lead if their life depended on it? What happens if you have somebody like AOC or Ilhan Omar who becomes the president of the United States? Or worse, Hillary Clinton. What if you get somebody like that? Yeah, and then you've got all these weapons at their disposal. And then here's the problem. When you got idiots apologizing. Thank you very much, Fidelity. Thank you. Appreciate it. I have been going on the meat diet. Yesterday I had a bunch of pork. I've been buying pork chops by the masses because I love those pork chops. I still got the rub left from Carlos. I make up those pork chops and I make them for the kids. I make them for me. And then between that and eggs and some other meat that I have, chicken. Yesterday we had chicken. I feel pretty good. My stomach is still a little queasy, but I feel good. But anyway, I do appreciate the way that Longhorns looks at things. And I'll be honest, if it wasn't for me wanting to photograph certain issues, certain places, and to stream and bring this content to people, I probably wouldn't care nearly as much. I mean, I live in if I get to be older and I can't really function very well, I can't walk very well, I can't get around and that kind of thing. I just hole up in my pad, and whatever happens, happens. And I understand where he comes up with these kind of, because he's a firm believer that, out of sight, out of mind. If you if you don't. That's the pregnant one. Well, she's not pregnant anymore. She popped that kid out about 5 or 6 months ago now. The kid's 5-6 months old. She was talking to me about what's it like when your kids are growing up. I'm like, enjoy them when they're young. And prepare for when they're older. I put up some photos on my Facebook page of Alex and Nicholas when they were like 4 years old, 5 years old. And also when they were like, I think 6 or 7, maybe 8. So 10, 11 years ago. Man, I remember those times. They were great. They were the best. Alex was always jumping up and down and you know, so happy, and Nicholas same way. They were so happy. Now they're like, hey, I got to do my homework. Leave me alone. You know, I'll say to Alex, you want to go do something? I'm busy. What do you mean you're busy? Well, I want to listen to this album, and then I've got to do some homework, and then I'm going to go work out, and then I've got to go practice music, and then I'm like, okay, whatever. I talked about this the other day. I'm not suffering the empty nest syndrome yet, but I'm starting to come to grips with it, that I'm going to have to let them go. They're getting older. Gone are the days where they tell me and my wife, we'll never leave you. We want to live with you forever. Now they're like, you know. Nicholas he's playing keyboard, and you know, he's very active, and he's gotten a lot better, much to my surprise, because he's not nearly as talented as Alex, you know, naturally gifted as Alex, but he's worked very hard to get better. And so now he's playing in this little band called Bed to Bed. And I'm like, who came up with a name for that group? He said, we're going to change it. I said, it ain't a bad name, Bed to Bed. Kind of like, you know, hopping from bed to bed. But I'm like, so he's been playing keyboard, and I saw him the other day. Yeah, well, I heard that the other day too, and I believe that. He's been playing keyboard, and the other day I saw him, and I'm like, you're playing 2 keyboards on the stage. I'm like, what's the deal with that? He goes, oh, one of them is mine, and the other one has a different sound to it. It has some kind of a modulator or something. He's like, I need that for this song. And then he's playing, and you know, and then what's funny is that, you know, he's at school, and all these little girls are screaming and yelling and running up to the stage, and they put little, you know, the little, what do you call them, around their neck, you know. They grow up so fast. You know, and then they move on to do their own thing. So, for those of you who got kids, you better appreciate every minute you got with them, because they'll be gone before you know it, which is getting back to this girl. I told her, you know, make sure you spend as much time as you can with them when they're young, and when they get, and as they're getting older, make sure that you prepare for them to get older financially and otherwise, because things change quickly. Here we go. Here's a little one right here. Just a little tiny little fella. Is that his mother? No, it's not. What's up, dude? What day? I don't know. Is that the guy's kid? No, I don't think so. Anyway. Where's his mother? Or is that his father? Who knows? He's keeping an eye on him, though, which is good. Oh, I think that's the mother over there. Who knows? No, it's not. Wow. Anyway. We've run the gamut here. We talked a little bit about chowderheads. We talked a little bit about politics. We talked about what happened today, what's going on in Hong Kong. We talked about, what else? Kids. Starbucks did raise their prices, by the way. And their espresso is now 105 baht. Which is funny because, you know, the baht is stronger than it used to be, which means it's even more expensive than it used to be. So it's like they added like 30 cents. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. The pricing here, it's ridiculous. And it's not like I'm any more, I mean, listen, I could stay right over here at the Burger King. They got the same kind of chairs. It's not any more comfortable. Now, granted, inside of Burger King is not as comfortable as here in the chairs there. But, you know, you're paying for the brand. You're certainly not paying for the quality of coffee. I can tell you that. But I did have my coffee. I'm fine. No problems. Like I said, you know, Tom sent me a message, I'm coming to Starbucks. I didn't really even plan to come here, but then, you know, I couldn't connect in there. That's really wild, is when you're trying to connect, you know you got internet and you can't connect because there's too many people trying to connect. That doesn't happen very often, but it happened today. And I hadn't planned to come to Starbucks. The only reason I did was I thought, Tom will be here. I'll come say hello, and, you know, that'll be that. So anyway, well, thank you everybody for joining me. I appreciate it. It was a nice morning for me. Nice little time in the park there, and I'll figure out what's going on. But you know, like I said, Chinese New Year's coming up. We'll have a couple of things. Oh yeah, this guy's not allowed to smoke. They're no longer allowed to smoke here. At this bench here, can't smoke, and the guy's smoking. So the traffic guy told him, you got to get out of here. Yeah, so I'll figure something out. I'm gonna start putting some stuff up. I'll put a video up today. There'll be videos going up every couple of days. There'll be some new videos going up. I gotta start doing more videos. Get back in the swing of things here. New Year's is over. And hopefully I'll get to Hong Kong again. The GoFundMe. There's a link down in the description. Appreciate everybody who's contributed before and now and in the future. Thank you very much. I know, you know, you don't have to. I do think it's a big help, not only to me, but to people in Hong Kong and around the world, because I think China has begun to trample on people's rights. Not begun. They are trampling on people's rights all the time, and they've gotten away with it, and people are asleep at the wheel. So I've said it a million times already, so that's how I feel. But anyway, that's all I got. All right, so it's time to go. Au revoir. I bid you adieu. Adios, ciao, and all that good stuff. So thank you very much, and I'll talk to you guys later. Chok di, Jerk Mai.